Local realtor Patrick Bell is one of the candidates running in the June 12th Democratic primary for the Charleston County Register of Deeds office. In this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with Patrick one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores. Mr. Bell, it's so good to see you again.
Good to see you.
I appreciate it. Let me take you back down memory lane because it was right there in Sutherland Island where you and Joe Cunningham, the 1st Congressional District Democratic candidate, and yourself held a Get Out the Vote rally.
Mm-hmm.
We're 4 weeks out from June 12th.
Yep.
What's that one word to describe your campaign right now?
Very busy. Busy is the word. You asked for one.
Some people go on and on.
We're doing 2 or 3 or 4 events a day.
Yep.
That was a good event. Yesterday was typical weather for us this time of year. And we were proud to have a good crowd. And in addition to Joe and me, we had Mary Tinkler came out to speak for James Smith, and Miss Mandy Norrell, who's running for lieutenant governor, and several other candidates showed up as well. So it was a great event.
Oh yes, let me take you down the street. Really, this is the headline for PulseandCorey.com. Why no new hotels have been announced in Charleston for several months? Downtown Charleston has seen a flurry of new hotels in the last few years, but at least 15 of them, according to Pulse and Corey, haven't been announced. Is that a good strategy or bad strategy in your mind?
Well, strategy is an interesting word.
Okay.
There's a number of people involved in the new hotels that have been announced, that are currently under construction, some that have been approved but not built yet.
Right.
There's a lot of things changing in the real estate world, nationally and locally, and I don't think we should make too much of what's going on at this very moment as far as announcements. But at the same time, certainly we're running out of land in this city and in this county, and there's a number of developments that are already approved and on the way. So I wouldn't make too much of that, but the real estate industry is constantly changing, and today we are probably seeing multifamily and hotels at their peak, if not a little bit past their peak.
Okay.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the wave that happens, and we've got industrial, we've got residential, we've got a lot of other segments of the market that also ride that wave, just at a different time. We'll get to a point where we've built enough apartments, enough hotels, and things will slow down for a little while and allow the demand to catch up, and that's just normal. It's just the way the world works.
And let me stay with housing. I want to take you to West Ashley because you posted this on your Facebook page on May 18th, quote, "A rainy but beautiful day for the groundbreaking of affordable housing units to be built in Ashleyville." Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. What is the future of affordable housing and Ashleyville?
I love the question. As you know, I'm very involved in affordable housing, working with the local chamber, the local realtors, the state realtors, Senator Kempson, Representative Benarvis, and others on affordable housing as well as other things. Mayor Tecklenburg here in the city is doing a great job, as you see from that post from a couple of days ago. Affordable housing is a constant challenge in any growing city, and obviously we're growing very quickly. I love what's happening in Ashleyville. That's right down the street from where I live, and I'm thrilled to see both the revitalization of that community, but also efforts to maintain the affordability. It's a constant challenge.
Yes, indeed.
We could talk for an hour about how to maintain affordability, but I won't take that much of your time unless you want to.
I know you got things to do. Well, let me take you to the other issue right now, and this is another headline from the PulseandCorey.com. Charleston Ministries push elected officials to forge new affordable housing plans. Mm-hmm. So who are those officials and what are the plans?
Well, every elected official is being pushed, which is a good thing. And, you know, I also think it's a very good thing that organizations like the realtors and like the chamber are focused on affordable housing now. They weren't always. And that's not a crash on them. It's just, it just wasn't at the forefront for them. And I'm glad that it now is. I think more organizations are focused on affordable housing now than have been, you know, possibly ever in this community. And it creates a great opportunity for us to work on everything that affects housing affordability, whether that's mass transit, income levels, construction costs. There's so many different factors that play into affordability. And again, we've got heavy-hitting players at the table and paying attention, and we've got great opportunity to do something about it.
And you talk about being in the forefront. Let me take you to Charleston County Council. I know that you were there before County Council to talk about the county's short-term proposal. Why a proposal? Why now?
Well, good question. The short-term rental industry has come about fairly quickly and is growing and changing quite quickly. I often compare it to Uber and Lyft. You know, it's a change in the industry, and we've got to keep up with that change. The city, as you well know, has recently passed a short-term rental ordinance, and the county is getting close. I'm chair of the short-term rental committee for the Planning Commission. We've actually been working on this for over 2 years now. And the county council meeting that you referred to last week, well, it seems like a month ago, but it was just last week. You know, that's just the first time it was brought to county council, but we, again, have been working on it for over 2 years. And I'll tell you, I'm happy to be at this point because, you know, as you know, I've gotten dozens of endorsements for my race, and I'm proud of every one of them. But I want to tell you what made me more proud was at that meeting I made the planning staff and I made a presentation to county council about short-term rental, and it'll come back up again in a couple of weeks. We also had several property owners and residents in the county that came to speak for it. And what makes me so proud, and even more proud than the endorsements that I have, and I'm very proud of those, but we had a couple of residents from Goat Island where you can only get there by boat.
That's true.
It's a beautiful place, very tough to get to. Now, they came to speak for the short-term rental ordinance that we're suggesting county council put in place. We also had people from West Ashley, from James Island, and from Johns Island that came out to speak for it. Now, all of those places are very different from each other. And I'm not saying what we've proposed is perfect, but the fact that we were able to put something out there that people from all these different places in a very diverse county came out to speak for makes me very proud. Again, not saying we won't come back and make changes assuming this version is passed, but at the end of the day, those types of comments and the citizens approving of what we've created are even more important than the endorsements. They really are.
You know, as I was literally running from work to here, I was thinking of this question. What have you learned about the Register of Deeds office now that you didn't know before when you started campaigning for this office?
Well, that's a good question. As you know, I've basically been running for this for 4 years now. And basically, what I've noticed, let's go back 20 years or more. You know, I've been in this business for over 20 years. I quit counting after 20. And, you know, the real estate industry's changed a pretty fair amount in the past 20 years. And the Register of Deeds office just hasn't kept up with the changes. Now, to be clear, I'm not crashing it on the staff. We've got a very good staff and a very smart staff. And in some cases, they're a little bit frustrated just from a lack of leadership. And I'm wanting to help the staff be more productive And I'm wanting to help myself as Register of Deeds and the staff to remove barriers that are currently in place so that you, me, every other citizen of Charleston and Charleston County have better access to the records in that office than we currently do today. Now, your specific question is what have I learned from when I started running to now?
Sure.
Officially, I started running in March. That's when I filed for office.
That's
But
true.
and you know, even in that short time, I've learned a little bit because what we've done so far is we've created what we call the Day One Committee. The Day One Committee is made up of real estate attorneys, a Charleston School of Law professor, various other people, including library officials that use the Register of Deeds office on a weekly basis.
Right.
They all have come together to help me be ready on day one. And that's obviously the purpose of the name Day One Committee. So I feel like I know what needs to be done in that office, but I'm not going to walk in and say, hey, I know it all, and here's what we're going to do. I want the staff to tell me what they need that they might not be getting now.
Okay.
I want the people that use the office on a weekly basis to tell me what they need that they're not getting now, and I want to make sure that it's everything that it should be. You know, we're, I believe, the largest county in the state, and we definitely record more real estate transactions every single year than any county in the state. We shouldn't be playing catch up. We should be leading the way, and we should be an example for the other 45 counties in the state as to how this should be done. Again, we should not be playing catch up. So we not only need the right person in this job to run the office, we need the right person in this office to improve it. And that's why I'm running.
Patrick Bell, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Thanks, Quintin.
Thank you.